Yo, what is going on, guys? So this first clip here today, we've got a lady who can't get commitment from Chad. So her solution is to see more men. Let's see what she has to say.
How about instead of having the what are we conversation, we just do whatever we want. And then when they don't like it, we say, I do whatever I want. Unless I have a boyfriend.
And that's pretty much what dating in 2021 has turned into, right, gentlemen? All these girls are out here thinking to themselves, well, I can just do whatever I want. And you guys can't see it, but off the screen to the right, we've got a few comments here. And the first one says, no, you should still do whatever you want, even though you have a boyfriend. And the creator of this TikTok, then replies to it and says, true, good point. We got all these women out here in relationships thinking that, hey, I can do whatever I want. Right? It's all about me empowerment, and if he was a good man, he'd accept whatever it is I wanted to do. But what is going on, gentlemen? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video, and this is the second time I've recorded this video because my mic was muted, and going through all of this crud again makes me want to pull my hair out. But gentlemen, before we crack into it today, make sure you subscribe to the channel and come and join the Discord and the locals links in the description if you so wish. Guys, the locals and the Discord links are free to join, and if you're interested in supporting the channel, guys, local has a feature for that. But we're just going to be jumping straight into the video. We're going to watch it one more time, go over it, and then crack into some more videos. So let's see what she has to say.
Instead of having the what are we conversation.
Right, so just to preface this, okay, guys will think to themselves, oh, well, I have to ask a girl to be my girlfriend. Gentlemen, never ask a girl to be your girlfriend, okay? If you want a relationship to form, this is the question that she has to ask. If a girl is interested in you, let her bring it up. Don't be the one asking a girl, oh, can we please have a relationship? Right? Too many men are out here asking girls for a relationship, okay? If you want a relationship, let the girl come and ask you, and she's going to start asking you questions like, oh, so what are we? Yeah, this thing right here. The what are we conversation, right?
What are we conversation? We just do whatever we want. And then when they don't like it, we say, I do whatever I want.
And what a fantastic strategy to try and get a man into a relationship. You think that getting a man into a relationship with this kind of crud is going to ensure anything long lasting? Right? And and a guy who has options, he won't even care what the hell you do. Like, just don't put it in his face. He's just not going to care what you do. Right? A lot of these girls think that the dudes that have no interest in committing to them care about them. A lot of them just don't. We've got another clip here, gentlemen. So let's see
So I was having a talk.
what this next lady has to say. And she's going to impart to us some dating advice. So let's see what she's got to say.
So I was having a talk with my friend the other day, and since you guys liked my last dating video or whatever, I'm gonna go ahead and share it here as well. I'm gonna sit on the ground because it's more comfortable. But we can all agree that romantic partners are basically just like your very best friend that you sleep with, right?
And I can kind of understand the premise there, guys. But just be careful. Don't let girls pull this whole this trickery, right? Where they try and convince you that, hey, if you want a girlfriend, you should be friends first, right? You should get to know each other, and that's how the best relationships are formed. If you ask a woman for dating advice, she's probably going to say something along those lines, right? Of you should be friends first. You should make sure the relationship is stable before you continue on. Just make sure you're a good fit and be friends first. Don't do that, guys. If a girl is attracted to you, she is attracted to you. If she isn't, she isn't. Don't go wasting your time trawling through the friend zone thinking that she's eventually going to turn around and like you. It's basically what she's doing is she's trying to get you to give. Girls will try and get you to give your commitment, your attention, your validation, and all of that up front without having to do anything. That's why girls will say, oh, make sure you're friends first. Don't listen to that.
Oversimplification, but true. So a really good way I like to look at toxic exes or toxic guys is frame what they're saying to me as if it were coming out of my best girlfriend's mouth.
I want you to notice, right, how we were 25 seconds into that clip when she said this, okay? And we already know that this woman's exes are quote-unquote toxic, as if that word means anything anymore, right? But, you know, for the sake of this video, guys that haven't treated her well, right, weren't emotionally available, didn't commit to her 100%, whatever word you want to use. This is really funny, okay? Girls will say something is toxic when they don't get the commitment that they want. Right? When a guy doesn't want a relationship with her, he's toxic. That blows my mind, man. That like that kind of language is used, right? And it just makes the word toxic mean nothing. But I want you to notice how right off the bat, this girl's previous relationships were with toxic, quote unquote, men and men who didn't want to commit to her. Gentlemen, this should not come as a surprise. Okay, if you talk to most girls out here who, who are dating, like their exes are all going to be like that, generally speaking. They're chasing guys who don't have any interest in them, and then they want to turn around and cry and make up all these rules, and yeah.
Because that's my best friend that I'm not sleeping with. So I should actually expect less from her than you. Would she ever say to me what you're just saying? And if she did, would I still be talking to her? Or would I immediately cut her off? Would I immediately say that's not okay?
So a few points to make here. First thing is, who the hell cares? Okay, so let's go back to this. I want to point out this face right here. Where is it? She was like wagging her finger for a moment there. If I can find it. Anyway, she was wagging her finger there, right? Saying, look, why would I put up with it? My girlfriend doesn't talk to me like that, so I shouldn't put up with it from you. Right? You think these guys care? Right? You think men who have options care about you finger wagging them, saying that they shouldn't talk to you a certain way? You think that they give a crap? They're just going to go see like Stacy down the road, the other option, and he's not going to talk to you. All this finger wagging stuff, right? So I want you to imagine for a moment, this finger wagging right here. So I want you to imagine, right? You're watching this video, and you're the guy that she's interested in, but you won't commit to her. You think you're going to care about this finger wagging, or do you think you're going to laugh to yourself and go, okay, well, I'm just going to move on? I mean, it's so funny, right? Girls will get on camera and they'll say, it gives me white noise in my brain when girls say, oh, he shouldn't talk to me like that, right? Because they're the ones that actively choose the men who treat them like that. And if he didn't talk to them like that, odds are they would leave and become disinterested. Like, that's a really messed up thing to say, okay? But a lot of these girls, man, you treat them well, you shower them with love and kindness and affection, you give them the world, and oftentimes they just run for the hills.
And if she did, would I still be talking to her? Or would I immediately cut her off? Would I immediately say that's not okay? Why would I have any different standards for a guy I'm dating than I would for her?
Yeah, and I mean, you can say that on camera, right? But a lot of these girls, man, they're not, they're sticking around with the ex that treats them poorly. They're sticking around with the guy that treats them terribly. Right? Girls will sit here and they'll give advice to one another saying, oh, girl, you should leave him. He treats you so poorly. And then Stacy will nod along and say, yeah, you too, your boyfriend, your situationship, he treats you poorly as well. We should just ghost them and not talk to them anymore. But the thing is, they always stick around. Okay, this is one reason, one of many, why dating is absolutely ruined in 2021. Because a lot of these women out here, they're already bonded to a guy. They're already interested in a guy who won't give them a commitment. So what they're doing is they're going around and playing the field anyway, right? Because they can't get commitment from the dude that they're interested in. They're out here playing the field when they're already attached to a guy. Excuse me, right? A lot of these girls, man, they're already emotionally taken, so to speak.
If your best friend wouldn't say it to you, your partner shouldn't be either. So I was having...
Yeah, right. And, that overall, I will say shout out to this girl, right? It's some pretty solid advice, okay? If people are treating you badly, you should not talk to them anymore. But my question is, do we really think that these girls are out here doing that? No. This, he's just a friend. Oh, he's just a guy friend that I talked to. We used to talk, and now we're just catching up. It's all BS, man. It's just all BS. But let's jump into the next clip here. And guys, I apologize if I'm a little bit short today. This is my second time. This is my second time recording this video, and I had to be out of the house a bit sooner. But I really wanted to get this video out for you guys. So let's have a look at this video right here. And this is the same woman that is in the first clip, I believe.
People will be like, if all that bad stuff didn't happen to you, then you wouldn't be who you are today. I don't want to be who I am today. I want to be mentally stable.
And this is what we talk about when we talk about on the channel, girls simultaneously have a really high opinion of themselves and a really low opinion of themselves at the same time. Okay, you might look at this and go, see, a lot of people get the misconception that girls have high self-esteem. Okay, I mean, look at this, right? She's got a lot of makeup on, you know, she's dressed herself up, made her hair look nice, she's wearing a dress, and, you know, she's doing what she can to make herself look better in this video. But make no mistake, people like this, man, they don't like themselves. They find it difficult to live with themselves. They're often, you know, in her own words, not mentally stable. They don't like who they are. I mean, let's look at the sentence. Let's have a pause on it. I don't want to be who I am today. And you see, this is the problem that girls have, because what a lot of them will do is they will derive their self-esteem based on what other people think of them. And when I say what other people think of them, I mean, you know, the guy that this girl wants, who isn't interested in her, he's the one who's setting her self-esteem. This is why you'll notice that girls have such a mixture. And what'll happen is, girls like this, they will have endless amounts of validation and appreciation thrown at them simply for existing. Okay, so on the one hand, it makes their head get really large and they think to themselves, well, I'm a queen, I'm fantastic, I'm all this and that. But then on the other hand, the guy that they're really interested in, he just views her as another girl and she's not too interesting. Okay, so they end up with this weird thing where they simultaneously really like themselves. They think that they're the best thing ever, but then they also hate themselves. And one way to describe this would be an insecure narcissist is the phrase I would use to describe this. Let's jump into the next video.
What do you do for a living? I glow. Physically, mentally, financially, emotionally, I glow. It's what I do now. It's what I'm going to keep doing. Just wear some sunglasses so you don't get blinded.
And this is what I'm talking about, right? And, you know, when I first recorded this video, I didn't even realize that these clips were back to back. I pulled up a bunch from this person's profile, and I want you to just notice the huge difference. So in this one, she says that she doesn't want to be who she is today. You know, she doesn't like herself, right? And then in this one, she thinks that she's glowing and that, you know, she glows, what is it? Physically, mentally, financially, and emotionally. You see, this is what I'm talking about when I say that girls like this, they're split. They're insecure narcissists is what it is. And I don't say that to be mean, I don't say that to be rude to the girl, but I think a lot of guys get the misconception out here that these girls have high self-esteem. They absolutely do not. They derive it from their surroundings, right? And most often, they place the most weight on the guys who aren't interested in them. This is why girls will sort of become, they'll become a mashup of different dudes, right? And I can't go into too much details because of this, I mean, on this because, you know, YouTube, but you'll notice in terms of bedroom fun, shall we say, she'll often pick up different things from different guys that she thinks would please that guy, and then oftentimes girls will actually mold their personalities around this as well. It's really kind of disturbing to watch happen.
If you want to be toxic, here's a good texting disclaimer.
Now we got this video here, toxic texting tip number 15, right? So we can only assume that she's made 14 videos before this on how to text toxically. And just before we jump into it, I feel like I should give you guys a warning. This video alone, so only this one, has 1.2 million likes on it. Now, likes are oftentimes a very small fraction of the amount of views. So this video, I believe, has 10 million plus views on it alone. So if you want, you know, it's just so dangerous, right? Like places like TikTok, man, we want to think to ourselves, oh, well, it's only the bad people that come across this information. No, this information is public and it goes around to a lot of people. Chances are, if you're dating a girl who uses TikTok, she's probably come across this before, or at least something along these lines. Let's continue and see what she has to say.
This only works if you're not blocked. You're going to text your ex about your special spot. If it's a restaurant, ask, what was the name of that place where we got that type of food? Be very specific. If they tell you the name of the spot, say, okay, thank you so much. They'll be wondering who you're going there with, because clearly it's not them. This also makes that special spot seem a lot less special. Can't be.
You know, girls will, I would just find this funny. Okay, is what I would find this. You see, what girls will do, and here's a trick. So maybe you're new to dating, or you're just kind of getting back into it. But let me just put it to you this way: If you are a viable romantic interest to a girl and you are not committing to her, oftentimes they'll play these little games to try and get you to care about them. They'll try and manipulate you into caring. And one of the ways girls will do this, and this is specifically for Instagram, is, okay, let's just say you've got a girl, right, and you're not committing to her, but she wants you to commit to her. What she might do is she might go on a quote unquote date with a guy. Like, so she'll grab a guy friend or, something like that, and she'll go on like a picnic. And what she's going to do on that picnic is she's going to grab her phone and she's going to take a picture, like overlooking the nice waterfront or wherever the hell she's at, right? And she's going to intentionally get like a piece of someone's arm in the shot or their foot or something like that. And then she's going to post that to social media, usually an Instagram story. And what that's supposed to do is it's supposed to make you as the guy, watching, as the guy she's actually interested in, jealous. So there's a few things to note about this situation. I'm just going to let this video play so you guys have something moving to kind of look at here. Is girls will do this, okay? And there's a few things to say about that. Number one, the guy that she drags on the date to make you jealous, he doesn't know that he's just being used. Right? So from that guy's perspective, he might think, oh, finally, it's my chance to talk to this girl. I really like her. She's finally given me a chance, right? Just clueless. And then he goes on the date and, forks out some money for it, and they have a quote-unquote good time. And then he's thinking, oh, boy, maybe on my next date I'll get to give her a peck on the cheek, and maybe she'll like me a bit more, and we can see where it goes from there. Little does that guy know, he's just being used as a pawn to get your attention. You see what I'm saying here, gentlemen? It's all like people become pawns to manipulate other men into doing stuff. And I wish I wasn't so cynical about it, guys, but I have seen this so many times you wouldn't believe. Okay, this whole texting guys in a particular way or using men to make other men jealous, guys, it is far more common than you might think. And the really sad part about it is, here's who loses from this, okay? Yeah, the girls kind of lose because they make themselves look like clowns, if you know what you're looking at. But the losers of this particular situation are the dudes that they use in between who don't know what the hell is going on. And I don't know, I just find that incredibly sad. We got way too many men out here just believing in what girls say. But let's go to the next clip.
So recently,
and I believe this one is some dating advice. Let's see what she's got to say.
Recently, someone was talking to me about dating and boundaries, and they mentioned something, and I said, no, that doesn't really bother me. And they said, well, doesn't that make you jealous? And I responded, no. And I'm really not a jealous person. A lot of things that would bother a lot of people just don't get to me. And this isn't because I'm evolved or anything.
This is just pure speculation, okay, what I'm about to say here. But here's my hypothesis, right? And this is going to be an overly cynical one, okay? Maybe I'm looking into it a little bit too much, extrapolating a bit too much. But when she just said there that I don't get jealous about normal things like normal people do, I reckon the reason that she said that subconsciously is because she was with a dude who was, stepping out of the relationship, and then he would come back home to this girl, or where, he would come back to hang out with this girl, and then he would say to her, oh, it's so cool that you're not like all the other girls, other girls would often get jealous, right? And she'd go, yeah, I'm not the jealous type, of course not. Right? You see what that is, right? He's stepping out of the relationship. He's coming back to her, and he's saying, oh, well, it's so good that you're so chill, right? You don't get jealous like normal people. And then she takes that and she goes, you're right. Like, that's a positive thing about myself, and now she carries it until this day. That's my guess as to why she had that little thing there.
It's because I heard this one piece of advice that really stuck with me. And the piece of advice is that you do not need to trust them. You need to trust yourself enough to leave.
Yeah, and so the question becomes, do these girls leave? Right? When Chad doesn't want to commit to them, when he has no interest in them, when he's not giving them attention, not replying to their messages, ghosting, and these girls are all caught up in their feelings, like, oh, maybe he's with another girl, and, that anxiety, and it makes her fall in love, and she's so excited, she's got the butterflies. You think that she's going to leave? Right? Again, these girls will get on camera, okay, and they'll sit there and they'll say, you need to be leaving and all this kind of stuff. But the question becomes, do they actually leave? Because more often than not, the answer is no, they don't. But shout out, right? Like, this is good advice, okay? Like, if the guy's not interested in you, you should leave. But you've got a question: do they take that advice or not?
Because there's always going to be someone prettier than you, someone smarter, someone funnier. That is a losing game. You will always lose to someone at some point. The only thing you can control is you. You'll never control them as hard as you try. But you can control that you'll respond appropriately if they do.
Yeah, and again, do these girls do that? Right? And did you notice the little smirk that she gave there, right? When she said, you can't control him even if you wanted to, and she gave a little smirk? I would guess that this girl's been in that situation a few times, where the guy that she's interested in is not going to be acting the way that she wants. Okay, here's what'll happen. The girls will go out here, they'll date guys who have no interest in dating them back, right? And they'll try and control the dude's behavior, right? And the degree to which they can control the dude's behavior, ironically enough, is how quickly they lose interest. Right, and this is something we talk about endlessly on the channel, guys. But when these girls, when they finally do change a dude's behavior, oftentimes it just makes them disinterested. Right, that's when you start hearing things like, and I'm kind of losing my voice here. I just recorded a video before this one. Excuse me. This is when you start to hear things like, "Oh, we drifted apart." Right, now, she might use that sentence if you're a dude who's been there as a provider for the entire time, but she might also use that sentence if you're a dude that she managed to change. Oh, we drifted apart. Oh, and this is where you start to hear, oh, we need a break from the relationship, right? Like, oh, we've just been going our separate ways lately. This is all the words under the bridge to say, you changed. You listened to me, you did what I asked, and now I'm bored.
That you're going to leave. And they are going to be the only person dealing with the aftermath of what they did, because that is not your problem. So don't waste your peace.
I find that last part there as well to be particularly funny. Okay, because you think that Chad, look, the guy who has options, the guy who you're interested in who has options, you think he's going to have difficulty sleeping with himself at night when he passes you up? No. When Chad treats you poorly, when he doesn't answer your texts and everything like that, and you decide to cut off the situationship, you think that he's going to care? Right? He doesn't have to live with himself. He doesn't have to live with the consequences of his actions. Dude, he doesn't care. That's the point. I'm not saying this to be mean to the girl making this video, but the chances are he just doesn't care about you. Like what these girls will do is they need to give themselves some peace of mind, thinking that they won at the end of the day. You didn't win. You've got no ring. You got no commitment out of it. Okay, girls will get to 40, 50, 60 years old, and if they're still single by then, guys, it's like, okay, well, the question becomes, why are they single by then? These girls who are 30, 40, 50, right, who haven't got a ring, the question you should ask yourself is why? As girls get older and they don't have relationships, gentlemen, and they're actively looking for one, it just becomes increasingly more of a red flag, because they could have had the commitment at any time, excuse me. Right, but they choose not to. You've got to ask yourself, and the answer to the question is obviously they're out there having fun. And if they're out there having fun and they've been having fun with all these guys, why should you give up your commitment? Why would you let them shame you into giving up your commitment to stay with them? Maybe they got a couple of kids in tow and stuff like that. But let's move on to the next video. And guys, we're running out of videos here, so we'll see how many we fit in before the end of the show.
Listen up, babe.
Oh, I forgot I put this one in here. All right, let's hear it.
Listen up, babe. If he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to, he motherfucking would. Nothing against you. Just not everyone has great taste.
I want you to notice, right, how whenever a man isn't interested in a girl, it's because he has poor taste, right? Not because the woman is, maybe she's masculine, maybe she's rude, maybe she's mean, maybe she doesn't look the best, she hasn't been taking care of her body, maybe she has multiple kids in tow that would be a financial burden. Okay, look, maybe she's got all of these problems associated with her, but hey, no. If you're a guy and you don't want her, it's because, it's because you don't have good taste. Goodness me.
So when he comes crawling back saying, oh my god, you're the love of my life, hit him with, what's your name again? Oh, Calvin Klein, am I? Listen up, babe.
And the thing about dudes like this, right, and, I watch these, I come across these videos when I'm hunting for videos or going through stuff that you guys have sent me, okay? And a lot of these men will make videos where they're pandering to women, Okay, they're telling women what they want to hear. Oh, Queen, you're so fantastic. If he doesn't like you, it's because of him. And they'll make these videos, and I can't help but think to myself, I think these guys are just straight up lying to the girls. I think they know the real truth, right? I think they know what's actually going on, but I think they lie to the girls for followers and for money. One really good example I'd like to bring up is a man called Matthew Hussey here on YouTube. I think that he is a fantastic businessman, and I think that he collects the army of cat ladies who are in their 40s who haven't been able to secure chat. I think he secures them and panders to them very well. Okay, but I don't think that these people believe what they're actually saying, right? What they're doing is they're sitting there and they're lying to their audience, and that's just my opinion. Who knows? Maybe he does believe it. But a lot of these guys, man, what they're doing, like what's the other guy's name? Derek Jackson, right? Was another example of this. Of just pandering to women, telling them what they want to hear. And all the ladies, as they get older and they become more and more lonely, they become more and more reliant on this advice. And it's just a funny thing to see. And, you know, clever businessmen, I guess, right? But it is what it is. Let's jump into today's last video before we wrap up the show, and we might have a quick Reddit story as well. So let's have a look at this one.
Here's some tips on getting over a breakup. The first and most important tip, go buy a journal. A journal is going to become your best friend. You're going to want to try and use it every single day. Write down all your thoughts, feelings, and emotions about the breakup. Journaling is really important because of my next tip. You need to implement a no contact rule. You cannot text your ex. You cannot respond to your ex. You cannot communicate with your ex in any way. If you're constantly checking their social media, you're breaking the no contact rule. As long as you're stuck in the why, what, and
I actually think that that's some good advice, right? Going the no contact, and this is something that I will tell you, gentlemen, on the channel. You know, if you've gone through a bad relationship or something like that, or if you've got a girl in your life and she's just causing you hell, dude, just cut them out. Stop talking to them. And I understand that's not always possible. Maybe there are kids in the picture and stuff like that. But in general, look, if someone's being a grievance to your life, if a girl's causing you issues, guys, you should definitely go no contact, especially if she was a crazy ex or something like that. I think it's good for you if you cut people out like that. But I think women in general have a lot harder time doing that. I think that a lot of girls, what they'll do is they'll keep in their life the toxic ex, right? And then they'll try and pass it off later as, oh, he's just a friend. Right? That whole line of we're just a friend, it's not a thing. But, you know, that's some good advice there. But the question, again, becomes, do they take it?
and how questions and what your ex is and isn't doing, you're postponing your moving on. You have to decide that you're going to get back into your own head. Make a gratitude list every single night. Write down 5 things that you're grateful for and no repeats. Do this every single day. You need to take care of yourself when you're going through a breakup. Remember positive self-affirmation. Shower yourself with kind, loving, positive thoughts.
Guys, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, okay? And feel free to disagree. But I think, look, if you're someone who's gone through a bad time, maybe you've gone through a terrible relationship or something like that, and you're coming out the other end, or maybe you're just had a bit of a rough time lately, okay? I do not necessarily think that the solution is always to shower yourself with kind, loving, and positive thoughts. And the reason I say that is because maybe some level of introspection is needed. Okay, maybe you made some mistakes. Maybe you did some things you weren't proud of. Maybe you were a bad dude in the situation, okay? Too many people are going around with this idea that, hey, you should be kind to yourself no matter what. You should be loving to yourself no matter what. You should have positive thoughts. And a lot of times that's just not reality. Okay, before we end today's show, guys, I want to give an example of exactly what I mean here and what it looks like. And we actually pulled up a video earlier, so let's have a look, right?
Having a talk with my friend.
Not that one. Wait, not that one. This one right here. Okay, this is the I'm going to be positive to myself no matter what, right? So let's have a look at the video one more time.
What do you do for a living? I glow. Physically, mentally, financially, emotionally, I glow. It's what I do now. It's what I'm going to keep doing. Just wear some sunglasses so you don't get blinded.
Yeah, you see the positive self-talk, right? And the problem with this is it's not always reality. You see, you can talk to yourself positive all you want. You can say these fantastic things all about, yourself, but if you don't come to terms with any mistakes you actually made or, stuff like that, this is how you end up, right? This sentence right here. I don't want to be who I am today. Okay, too many girls, man, they're walking around thinking that they're queens and they've made no mistakes and they're showering themselves, calling themselves beautiful, not taking accountability for their own actions. But gentlemen, we're going to leave today's episode there. A bit of a long one. As always, make sure you leave your comments and your thoughts. Always interesting to see what you guys have to say. Make sure you come and join the locals and the Discord, links in the description, gentlemen. If you would like to support the channel, guys, locals is a fantastic way to do that, and it's totally free to join if you're not interested in supporting. Just in case anything happens to the channel, guys, both of those links are there. But we're going to leave it there. As always, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I will see you boys in the next video. Peace.